What is meant to be the hardest challenge in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies right now, I think, is the calling card challenge, where you have to fight the Etherworm, which is currently the last boss of the game, solo. You have to beat it by yourself. But I can show you how to make it incredibly easy. Like, it's ridiculous how easy it is. And no, you don't need all the perks and crystals and the ray gun that I'm putting on there. That's actually for something else that I'm going to do first. When you fight the last boss, you don't really need anything other than something that you can get for free in the game, and you can get 1,000,000 of them. It's really that easy. It will kind of blow your mind. So, because that's a little bit easy, also in this video, I wanted to show you how to do something else that's pretty difficult. I'm going to show you how to beat the Stormcaller solo in the first 5 minutes of the game. And I think that's a pretty good achievement. Now for that, I do have the ray gun, I had a level 3 Pack-a-Punch crystal, and I've got a bunch of the best perks in the game. If you don't believe me that these are the best perks, I've got a video coming out tomorrow where I rank every perk in the game and explain why these are some of the best ones. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on. But before we get to the Etherworm and that insane strategy to beat that really easily solo, let's show you how to fight the Stormcaller solo. So, the first boss we're going to be fighting is the Stormcaller, and to find him, you just need to go to the source of kind of the radiation, the gas, whatever you want to call it, on the map. There'll be a circle there, and assuming no one else has killed the Stormcaller, you'll find a bunch of zombies dotted about, but then there'll be this disciple. He's named, like I said, called the Stormcaller, and he doesn't really drop anything that exciting. He always drops a gold skull that's worth about 8,000 essence, credits, dollars, whatever you want to call them, and then normally he drops like a wonder weapon or something like that as well. Now, the way to kill him, obviously you can see here I'm using an insanely powerful ray gun. That's kind of just any gun that will do damage, that'll be good enough. The main thing is that whenever he starts trying to drain you, you have to shoot his hand. Now, this is true of any disciple in the game. That's how they get their health back. That's why they're super annoying to kill if you're not very strong. If you don't have a gun that immediately wipes them out, they can actually be a bit of an ordeal. But if they do that draining attack on you, just shoot their hand. It will immediately stop it, and then you can start doing damage to them. It is kind of interesting that in this, I'm using what might be one of the most powerful guns in the game, you know, the ray gun fully Pack-a-Punched, and I still have a little bit of trouble at getting his health down, because every time he starts draining me, if I can't get those hits on his hand just right, he gets a bunch of health back. But I think this is the easiest way to fight him solo. Obviously, if you don't have a Pack-a-Punch level 3 crystal, all you want to do is get something like the ray gun or any other high damage weapon, and make sure you Pack-a-Punch it up to level 3 across the course of the game. You know, do a bunch of contracts, take in crystals, whatever you can to get it high, then do a bunch of contracts, get a bunch of essence, get it up to tier 3, and then come back to fight him. The only annoying thing is if someone else has already killed him, like I killed him right at the beginning of this game. I kind of wish he was losing his health a little bit faster than this. There we go, Stormcaller is down. So there you go, the Stormcaller defeated solo in less than 5 minutes. You can see there he dropped a gold skull, a scorcher, and an epic ether tool. Didn't really need the epic ether tool, but I put it in my backpack for another run. And then I took that gold skull, because one thing you do want to get before you try to do anything solo in this game is stock up on self-revives. You can only bring one into the game with you, so it's a good idea to just go to a tier 2 buy station where you can pick up a few more. They're 5 grand each, so I could sell this skull to get one. And it's also a good idea just to kill a few zombies to get ammo and plates, so you've got a little bit of a stockpile before you go into the mission. So here I am at the buy station, just quickly making sure that I've got that second self-revive, also stocking up on plates and ammo and things like that. I know lots of people will go and buy plates because they're not that expensive, you can buy them from there. But if you just kill zombies around you and you know you're not going to be taking too much damage doing them because, you know, for example, you've got a level 3 Pack-a-Punch ray gun and you've got PhD flopper so you're not accidentally shooting yourself, then you can just kill zombies and get the plates off them, and you can easily fill up your inventory very quickly just from a few zombies. In the main mission that we're going to be going to, there's a bunch of zombies in there, but the problem is, the reason I'm trying to get a few plates and things like that now, is that there's a few mercenaries at the beginning, and a ray gun is pretty terrible for fighting mercenaries, even though it's super good against zombies and things like that. Right, so here we are. Here is the flare to go fight the Etherworm. I did all of this live on stream, by the way, so if you want to catch my streams, I do stream right here on YouTube, but also on twitch.tv/Geeky Pastimes. All of my streams are now on both of those platforms, so you can choose where to watch me. Go follow me on Twitch, subscribe, turn your notifications on, all of that stuff. And while you're thinking about that, maybe press like on this video. Right, so to go fight the Etherworm, you have to do the Defeat Zakhaev mission, so you call the helicopter in and then just sit on it. It does get a little bit glitchy sometimes, so while you're flying to it, it will like fade to black, and then it seems like the little bit at the top of the screen that says zombies will just start flickering for a while. I think that's kind of normal, so don't worry about it too much. But I've skipped all of that and now we're straight into the mission. Now, like I said, if you do go the route that I've gone and you've got a ray gun, you will have a little bit of a problem at the beginning of this mission that you're going to have to fight a bunch of mercenaries. There's a ton of snipers, there's a ton of mercenaries running around, and they're actually kind of annoying to kill with the ray gun. Just because while it does a bunch of damage and does splash damage, so you can shoot the ground next to them, if you don't hit them, it's just going to whiff past them and not do anything. And the ray gun shots are so unbelievably slow, it's actually kind of hard to shoot someone that's running past. So you kind of need to wait for them to stand still and then pick them off one by one. Thankfully, you do get an extra 45 minutes to do this mission, so it's not like you need to be rushing through this or anything like that at all. Just take your time, make sure you keep on filling up with armor. You can see I've got like 16 plates at this point, but you do lose plates unbelievably quickly, especially if you keep missing like I was there. Partly because there's a bunch of snipers that will be shooting at you from the rooftops. You can just see a couple of their shots there. They're very annoying to shoot with the ray gun from a long way away, so I just try to kind of avoid them as best I can until I get a little bit closer and then I can pick them off. And actually you can see here how long that ray gun shot takes to hit them. I hit him with the first one, but it took a long time. Now there's also some mines, you saw me shoot them, and some of these containers will burst open with zombies inside. But if you've got a ray gun or you've got any weapon up to tier 3, then you're going to be able to wipe them out super easy. All of the zombies in all of the story missions are actually only tier 2. So if you want to take a tier 3 weapon in, I think that's a good idea just because it's so unbelievably powerful and it means you'll be able to cut through everything. But you definitely can do this stuff just with a tier 2 weapon, especially if it's a really good weapon like one of the LMGs or the assault rifles. Lately, I've been really enjoying the MCW. Like, since I finished the camo grind and got Borealis, I can now use whatever weapon I want. And I found that actually some of the assault rifles are a really good mix of still being fairly mobile and they're fairly fast to reload, but they put out a lot of damage, especially once you've got kind of ether tool upgrading them and you've got Pack-a-Punch on them as well. Be a bit careful. There's one weapon, I think it's called like the DG58 or something like that. It's one of the ones that looks a bit like a FAMAS. That one, at the moment, Pack-a-Punch doesn't actually work. It applies the camo to it and it says that it's Pack-a-Punched, but it doesn't do any more damage. And you can tell like the sound effects and stuff don't change at all. You just hear the normal shots, which is really annoying. So don't use that gun. So as you can see, I start moving through the map a little bit quicker here. I'm just trying to like keep my plates up, make sure that I've got plenty of ammo, make sure I've got everything filled up, like my lethals, my tacticals. You can see I've got a sentry gun. That's the sort of thing that might be kind of useful. But while you're fighting zombies, if you've got a ray gun or you've got any weapon really tuned up to tier 3 Pack-a-Punch, you're going to be just cutting through them. Now, when you go into the actual power station, it's a bit weird. It feels like there's meant to be a big fight in here, but you actually just have to interact with one thing. The real problem that I had with this is that there's a bunch of snipers up on the rafters, and they can easily down you. Like, when I did this the first time and I was doing it in a group, I think I did this with Cobb originally, it was not too bad because, you know, if one of us got downed, the other person could just res you. But if you're solo, it can be a little bit of a pain if you start getting pinned down by snipers, because even if you use a self-revive, they'll actually start shooting you again pretty quickly, which is really, really annoying. So just when you go in this room, be super careful. I couldn't even see where most of these snipers were. You can see me kind of just panicking a little bit in here, trying to work out where exactly I'm meant to be shooting, where these shots are coming from. It's a little bit frustrating, but you know, the ray gun makes everything easy, because if I miss a little bit, it's still kind of okay. Now, these experimental gas tacticals that you see me picking up, do pick those up as you go through. Those are really, really useful later, but you know, we'll save that surprise for in a little bit. So that yellow objective, that's the only thing you have to interact with just to finish this. But like I said, you need to kill these snipers up at the top, because they will absolutely demolish your plates. You can see here that I'm losing plates so quickly. Like every time they shoot me, I think I lose a plate and a half, which is really, really annoying. But once you've killed a few of them, and then just kill the last one there, then you just go and interact with this. It places an explosive charge, and then you've got to get out and get to the neutralizer. So you can just run. You can just take the same route that I'm doing here, run out here, and then go to the left. Don't go to the right, because I kind of spoiled stuff myself. Do be aware, out here, there's a bunch more mercenaries. There's a bunch more mines, which is kind of irritating. All of these things are kind of dangerous. And really, at this point, all you're trying to do is stay alive until you get up to the worm. Because once you get to the worm, this is going to be super, super easy. But staying alive up until the worm, that's, you know, a little bit trickier. I do love the ragdolls when you shoot people with the ray gun, but it doesn't pop them. Sometimes it pops them, which is kind of annoying. But if it doesn't pop them, it'll like throw them up into the air, and they just look really funny. So there's the last set of mercenaries here. A bunch more spawn. There's a bunch around this warehouse. Again, like before, you're really just trying to get to the objective. You don't need to kill all of these. I just prefer to kill the mercenaries as they're spawning, because they do so much damage to you. I'm also trying to get some plates and stuff like that here. My ammo is full, so I don't need to worry about that. But I want to make sure that I've got a lot of plates, because there's a couple of attacks the boss does that can actually damage you very, very quickly. And it's nice to not have to be like running off to buy plates or running off to try and find plates in the middle of the fight. So once you get near the yellow thing, you'll see there's a bunch of helicopters dropping various people off. Some of them are good people, some of them are bad people. Just, again, keep trying to kill the mercenaries. Don't go to the right here, you just get stuck. Go to the left, that's the right way. This is the bit where you definitely have to go around the left to get in. And then you're going to see this kind of warehouse type building on the right. So you can see just past the yellow marker, there's a warehouse building. That's where you're going to be doing a lot of your kind of fighting for the boss fight. And I say fighting, I should put that in like inverted commas, because it's barely fighting. You can kill a bunch of soldiers here as they get out of the helicopter, which makes your life a bit easier. But once you get over here, you can power up the neutralizer, so you just go up and interact with it. It doesn't seem to have an animation or anything, which is a little bit weird. And then just make sure there's no more enemies in this warehouse. The warehouse is just super good cover against most of the boss's attacks. And it's got a buy station in there, so you can buy plates if you need to. And there's an ammo dump out the back, which is super useful, and you'll be using that a little bit. And you can run around and see if there's any good loot or anything in there. But while you're doing all of this, it gives you this objective to go destroy the helicopter. If you've done the story mission before, you know, in a group or whatever, you'll know you don't actually need to fight this helicopter at all. Like, just let it go about its day. It'll be absolutely fine. And if you don't want spoilers for this mission, maybe stop watching right now. Like, seriously, very quickly, you should have stopped watching this already. So, here is the boss. And how are you going to fight it? You can use the ray gun, shoot its weak points. It does a fair amount of damage. That'll take a while. But instead, you can just throw tactical gas grenades, or the experimental gas grenades they're called in this. You can see I threw one gas grenade and look how much damage it's done. Just threw another one and look how quickly that boss's health is dropping down. We've already taken about a third of its health off with 2 experimental gas grenades. There I just throw another one, that takes it down to about half health. And as soon as it does get to half health, it's going to start sending these purple orbs out that are really irritating. They do a ton of damage. Now, the reason I keep going behind this warehouse is that sometimes whenever the boss sort of rears up, it's about to fire a laser, or sometimes it slams down. Both of those can be avoided just by running around the warehouse. Sometimes the boss does go underground as well. If you run into the warehouse, it's not going to kind of spawn through the floor of the warehouse, so you're kind of safe in there. So I just kind of run around. I nearly actually get caught of it because I thought it'd come out again, but it hadn't, so I just sort of ran back in there now, and you can see it kind of glitchily popped up there. But now I can throw more of these experimental gas grenades, and you can see it just does this damage over time that's absolutely insane. I wouldn't be surprised if this got fixed or patched pretty quickly, because I'm sure that this is some kind of bug, that this is not meant to happen. But anyway, there, I just need like one more of these experimental gas grenades onto it, And you can shoot these orbs because they are super annoying. But yeah, one more grenade at the bottom of it will take off that last little bit of health. I think I used about 6 in this, and then it's dead. Right, I'll skip the cutscene for you because you don't need that spoiled for you. But there you go, there's the calling challenge complete. Kill an Etherworm while solo, and that's the calling card you get. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it fun, if you found that mode ridiculous, make sure you leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comments which other challenges you found difficult, and then maybe I'll make a video like this showing how to do them easily if I can do them. Make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.